I want to show you an SEO automation that you can run on Claude Code with one skill that will help you get a lot of traffic very fast, because we're going to be targeting topics and events that not a lot of people are targeting, that are not very competitive. So what it is, the strategy is to have a page on your website, a specific page on your website, that's to publish news articles. Okay, you will have a page literally slash news that AI can search and pick up and use to recommend your articles to people who are looking to read or get news about your niche and your industry. Okay, so the very first thing that you have to do is on your website, figure out a way to have a page that's dedicated to publishing news articles. Here's an example of a website, a very big website that publishes articles, news articles all the time. That's all they do, and they are an affiliate to credit card companies. So they don't necessarily have a product that I know of, but these websites sold for multiple millions. I think close to 30 millions a couple of years ago. And all they do is publish news articles. And news is something that anyone can publish. It's something that AI can very easily reword news that already exist. You can pick them up from the sources that typically publish news first, which is like Google News and X, previously Twitter. They are very fast to getting news out. So you can take Twitter and Google News, right? And you're going to be using Claude to do that automatically. And then you turn that into an article and you publish it to your news website, to your news page inside your website. Okay, so before we keep going, my name is Borja Beso. The reason I know this is because we implemented for a lot of our customers at Distribb, which is our company where we help people get customers from AI and Google search and organic traffic on autopilot. So if you're interested, there will be a link in the description for you to have a look. But these websites, they implement a lot of the things that we help them automate, like this new strategy. We have other automations like statistics pages, but I'll cover those in a later article. And for reference, that website I just showed you, the points guy, look at the stats that they pull. It's massive what they do just by republishing news. They don't have reporters on the streets picking up being the first point of contact, the first point of information extraction. They're just regurgitating news that someone else already published, and they're pulling a lot of traffic with that. So the prerequisites, you got to have Claude, Codex, or Cursor, or any of the agentic desktop apps. You can use the free plans if they allow you to run the automations. I recommend you have the $20 plan for either Claude, Codex, or Cursor. I think it's $40 for Cursor. They may have a $20 plan, not sure. And the other one, obviously, a website where you can publish the news pages. Once you have your desktop app installed, you will use an SEO skill, the Distribb skill. And all you have to do is just copy the command. I'll drop a link on the description. And you just take it over to your agent. Let's say it's Claude. And you say, install this. And that's it. That will run it and put the skill in your folder. By the way, I recommend you have a folder. You can create a folder on your computer specifically for running whatever projects that you have. I organize all of my different projects, all of my different websites into different folders, and every time I need to do work on one specific one, I'll just create a new folder for that website. And you can install skills either globally, you can tell Claude to do it. There's nothing else that you need to know how specifically. You just tell Claude, hey, I want this skill installed on one particular folder, or globally. I just install my skills globally so I can reuse them. So you tell Claude, install this skill, it'll run it, and it'll ask you to go through the sign up real quick. It takes like 30 seconds. And then you want to go on routines, which is in my opinion, the most powerful feature that Claude has. I love it because you can run a lot of things without you having to do it over and over again. These are basically just automations that you set them to trigger at any time that you want. I have several running daily, and got mine's paused so they don't trigger while I'm doing this video. Here's the news one, and it's a super simple set of instructions because all the complex parts of the workflow are already baked into the skill that you just gave Claude. That skill, this one, has everything an SEO expert would need, and you can just run commands like Distribb setup that'll help you do an SEO audit, a GSC audit, keyword research, writing articles, optimizing existing content, backlinks, etc. It's just a super powerful SEO skill. It has several plans. It has a free, a medium plan, a pro plan, and a super accelerator plan. So you can play around with it. You can run a 90-day SEO sprint. The point is, it's very powerful. It's like giving your Claude everything an SEO expert knows so that it can run it for you. And you're likely an SEO agency yourself, so you can run this workflow for or your clients with this skill. And the reason it has all those playbooks installed and already here on the skill command, it's why you don't have to give Claude a huge set of instructions on how to do what we're about to do. So you come on routines, you create a new routine, and you tell Claude, search Google News for events relevant to my business, and you give it your business. Create a news article following the Distribb playbook. Now, you will have to connect your website to the Distribb skill via the Distribb user interface. You can do that on integration, and then just click add integration, and you choose whatever it is that you want. If you have a WordPress website, Shopify, any of the typical CMSs, or you can use the API webhook, which allows you to publish anywhere. Maybe your website is completely custom coded, and all you have to do is just give your AI coding agent just tell it, hey, I want to connect my website to this. Here's the instructions, and it will set up the endpoint to receive the payload, the article that you're going to be sending. And that's how you can connect anything. You can connect your Google Search Console as well. And once you start publishing those news articles, you'll be able to see them on your calendar, inspect them. Okay? You can either run the agent here to make edits or edit from your Claude. It doesn't matter. Everything that you can do here by clicking things around, you can do it from Claude. So that's how powerful the skill and the software is in general. And one tangent thing, one additional thing that you can do with a skill that's not necessarily relevant to the news playbook is that you can get backlinks from other people like yourself that are publishing content with the skill. The fact that everyone's publishing through the skill allows the tool to orchestrate backlinks when it notices stuff like, oh, look, this guy is talking about XYZ, and it's slightly mentioning one tactic while this other article is going deeply into that tactic. So it makes sense to put a link to that other article. That's the kind of links that Google wants to see and that Google rewards. And that's what the tool is able to orchestrate on your behalf. Contextual backlinks and listicle type backlinks, which are very powerful for getting cited by AI. You can say, oh, look, this is a health related website, and here's another website that's slightly relevant to it. Let's put a listicle on that website that mentions this other website. That way, when AI looks for that high buying intent listicle, it'll find yours. The same thing is as what you would be doing with the Google News. You tell Claude, hey, I want you to research Google News for news related to my article every morning and rewrite it in the way that the skill tells Claude to rewrite it, pull relevant images. You can modify some images with AI. Be careful when doing news and combining it with AI images, because that's where fake news start coming in. If you're doing a news, you want to show actual real information and images. Okay, so that's why I try to avoid including AI images on news pages unless it's like maybe a statistics or an illustration of something else that's not the facts that the news are trying to portray. And that's it. That will help you start ranking for those news topics very fast, because you'll be among the first couple dozen pages in the world that are publishing. And this works for any kind of business. It works for local businesses. It works for software companies. Works for agencies, Shopify stores, you name it. If you have a business and things happen every day related to your industry, this works for you. And there's another thing that you can do on top of this, call it a bonus part of this strategy. You can set up a secondary Claude automation like this one that I have on my routines page. Let me open that up, to then send those news to journalists that may be interested in expanding more. You're basically making their job easier. These are maybe freelancers or journalists who work for larger media publications that maybe they wake up in the morning, they're trying to figure out what it is that they're going to work on that given day, and you send them an email immediately after your news page goes live. You run this automation, you connect your Gmail MCP. That's something that you can do. Let me show you real quick how that looks like. Your own connectors, either plugins or connectors. That's where you can connect Gmail. Here it is. Okay, turn it on, turn it off. You connect your Gmail account, and that you could automate. You don't necessarily need to write all the email with AI, even though AI is pretty powerful at reading how you write your emails and replicating them nowadays. So I don't mind. And then you say, hey, I want you to spot journalists that typically write about these type of news. And then Claude is going to go out, it's going to search for websites and journalists who you write about that. You don't need to tell it a lot more information than that. It will know to use web search, find those websites that write about those type of news, send them an email to the author saying, hey, I started working on this piece. Do you want to cover it more extensively and just give me a link back? And that way you start getting mentions from other larger media, because you're making the journalist's life and work easier. And that's it. That's basically how you turn news pieces into content that can rank very fast. Now you got to consider that news pages and news content has spikes of traffic because they die off. So this is basically a quick traffic playbook. You get a spike, then a couple days later you maybe publish another piece of news, you get another spike. And this is on top of your traditional SEO, where you're maybe just doing keyword research and targeting keywords with search volume and competition that are quote unquote evergreen keywords that everyone's using all the time. And this is on top of that. You don't have to replace your traditional blogging with something like this. But it's just a very powerful trick, and I hope you make the most of it. If you, again, the links are going to be in the description for the skill. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.